The recent decline in the USD-MYR exchange rate from around 4.49 on the 8th of April to approximately 4.23 on 7th of May 2025 marks a notable weakening of the US dollar relative to the Malaysian ringgit over the past month. Several global and domestic factors likely contribute to this trend, reflecting economic, political, and market dynamics. U.S. interest rate expectations and Federal Reserve policy. A key driver of the USD's value globally is the U.S. Federal Reserve's interest rate policy. Over the past month, there has been increased market anticipation of interest rate cuts later in 2025 due to signs of moderating inflation in the U.S., suggesting the Fed may no longer need to maintain high interest rates. Weaker than expected GDP growth and softer labor market data, increasing speculation that tightening is over and cuts may be on the horizon. As interest rate expectations soften, yields on U.S. Treasury bonds fall, making the dollar less attractive to investors seeking higher returns, thereby weakening its value. Najar 2. Resilience and policy support in Asian economies. The Malaysian ringgit's recent strengthening can also be attributed to resilience in the ASEAN region, especially in comparison to G7 economies. Malaysia, in particular, has benefited from strong trade recovery in electronics and commodities, including palm oil and LNG, targeted fiscal and monetary policies by Bank Negara Malaysia, BNM, to stabilize inflation while maintaining competitiveness. Rising investor confidence in emerging markets as China's economy shows signs of stabilizing, which boosts sentiment across the region. Shifts in global investment flows. As global investors diversify away from U.S. assets, due to declining returns and geopolitical uncertainty, more capital is flowing into ASEAN markets, including Malaysia. Contributing factors include de-dollarization efforts by BRICS Plus and RCEP countries, encouraging trade in local currencies. The U.S. fiscal deficit, which remains historically high, raising long-term concerns about the dollar's stability. Growing interest in the green economy and energy transition investments, where Southeast Asia is emerging as a key player. 4. Geopolitical tensions and risk sentiment. Events in the Middle East, tensions in the Taiwan Strait, and instability in Eastern Europe are affecting global risk appetite. In this climate, safe haven demand for the dollar has not surged as in past crises. Instead, investors are turning to commodities, gold, and selected Asian currencies for diversification. In parallel, Malaysia has strengthened bilateral ties with China and the Gulf states, opening new trade and currency swap arrangements that reduce reliance on the USD and increase the ringgit's usage in regional trade. 5. Technical and speculative factors. The FX market is also influenced by technical trading patterns, stop-loss orders, and speculative positioning. Once the USD broke below key technical levels, e.g. 4.40, it likely triggered automated sell-offs and momentum trades, accelerating the decline. Conclusion. The recent decline of the US dollar against the Malaysian ringgit appears to be multi-causal, rooted in the US's shifting interest rate outlook, improving sentiment towards Southeast Asian markets, reduced demand for dollar-denominated assets, and structural shifts in global trade patterns. If these trends continue and Malaysia maintains political and economic stability, the ringgit may continue its modest appreciation, particularly if the Fed cuts rates in the second half of 2025. A heartfelt light. To every soul whose hand did give, you've helped me dream, helped me live. In darkest hours your light came through, with hearts so kind, so pure, so true. Your gifts, like stars in deepest night, have steered me gently toward the light. Each coin, each word, each silent prayer, a thread of hope, so rich, so rare. My eyes once dimmed, now seek the skies, and slowly, clearer visions rise. Because of you, I dare to see the world again. Its grace, its plea. Your compassion's flame will not just stay with me alone. It lights the way for others wandering through despair to feel the warmth of selfless care. You've shown what love in action means, in quiet ways through giving scenes. You've built a bridge from soul to soul and made the broken feel more whole. So let this thanks rise like a song, a melody both soft and strong. May your example gently call more hearts to rise to give. To fall into the joy of lifting pain, of planting hope where none remains. Your kindness walks beside me still, a light, a love, a living will.
don't forget to hit that subscribe button to show your support.